D3, D4 football here. I'm here with Andy Holt, who's the chairman of Accrington Stanley. I mean, first of all, the ground looks terrific, and I'd just like you to kind of sum up how you feel the club has progressed over the last 2 or 3 years.
Well, we've come on in leaps and bounds. It's had a lot of investment, and we generated that investment by getting players on contracts that we can sell and having cup runs and things. So I mean, it's lashed it down today at pitches. We're going to be watering pitch at half time.
Yeah.
All the drainage is right, and but more importantly, everybody around it's proud. So I'm really delighted how people have took ownership of it and how they're building this club. I don't need to spend much time here at all now.
Yeah, and clearly you work very closely with.
Good.
Yeah, clearly you work very closely with the supporters, the Accrington Stanley supporters. I mean, I suppose that relationship is really important to creating a certain feeling around the club, feeling of togetherness, which seems to have been really kind of underpinning your progress, really.
Well, it does. I mean, I wouldn't have got involved in this club at all without the supporters club, without the community trust, without the academy, because there's no pleasure in just paying a load of players' wages. There is no pleasure. The pleasure is seeing how much the community enjoy and get involved and interact with the club, and watching what Community Trust does with kids, watching what it does with socially isolated pensioners. The things it does in town, it's a fabulous setup, and if Accrington Stanley dies, so does all that effort. So we have really close relationship between the trust, between the academy, between the supporters club. In fact, we had meetings on Thursday night whereby supporters will have key, they'll have control of key decisions. For example, we won't be able to move grounds. So if someone came in future, they wouldn't be able to move without getting supporters club's agreement.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to sell the ground and use the cash to fund the squad without supporters club agreement. So it gives us protections from things that you see what's gone on at Oldham and Bury and a lot of clubs where and in Championship now where clubs are being separated from the stadium, and that only leads to problems further down the line. It's no problem now, but it leads to problems down the line. So there's no point us doing what we're doing if we're going to let somebody else ruin it.
Yeah.
So sell it. As I said to our fans, we could sell the stadium now. We bought the land off the council, and we've spent a lot of money on it. We could sell it now, and use the cash to fund an attempt, to get to the Championship. But you only get one shot at it, then you've no stadium. So that decision's going to be. It'll need our supporters club support. Otherwise, no one will be able to do it.
Yeah.
So they won't be able to block a sale of a club or a owner doing a lot of things around the club, but the really key decisions that might affect the longevity at club, the supporters club will have the final vote.
Yeah.
So we do want to give it a longevity to the club. Everything we do is going to last 25 years. The pitch will last 25 years. The stands will last 40 or 50 years, and we're planning for long term, not just this season. We're not interested really in this season in terms of planning the future at club. We're interested in terms of match and where we finish, and hopefully getting towards playoffs rather than towards relegation end. But the long term future at club is what's crucial. So Accrington has a ground that it owns now. It's 25% owned by fans as a club, and it has a ground that it owns that nobody will be able to sell off and do things. So I'm proud of stuff like that. We've come a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I suppose it's clearly all about sort of sustainable building, but at the same time, you've got to make the right decisions in terms of recruitment. And you look at the additions of people like Colby Bishop, who was at Leamington FC last season, and he stepped up very quickly 3 or 4 divisions. And I suppose I'd be interested to know, in terms of the in and outs of how you recruit players, how you spot the talent. What is are you allowed to sort of unveil any sort of insight into how you pick out these sorts of players who are the key decision makers, how you manage to kind of get value in your signings?
I mean, we as a club, we've not been able to buy players, so the talent pool that you're looking at is generally lower. You're not looking higher unless you're getting people that are at the end of the career, which is not ideal for us. We want young lads that are fighting and scrapping to move on.
Sam Finley sort of
Sam Finley, for example,
Yeah.
Dion Charles. Look, the list endless. We give players that progression from non-league through. That's something else that makes me proud. We can, players can come here and they can move up. Caden Jackson, that's playing at Championship, he's playing at Ipswich now. He couldn't get a game at Grimsby.
I know, yeah.
So we can out that talent if they've got it, and that's what Cole is good at. He can spot that talent. But he's spent his last 20 years looking at that talent pool. He scored 560 goals or something in 20 years in non-league as a striker.
Only 560.
It's only 560 in 20 years, so it's virtually 30 a year.
Yeah.
So that's prolific in anybody's imagination. So Colin knows a striker, and he's built this club over years, through all the divisions, him, Jimmy, and John, and they've, we're known as a club that will take on talent from non-league and give them a chance. It don't always work, but the strike rate gets better because the experience is better. So non-league players that show any talent, Cole is your man.
Yeah, clearly you've definitely got the best out of players. On a slightly more serious note, obviously we've had the sad situation with Billy, and for D3, D4 football, we'd like to sort of extend our support to Billy. But on a more general sort of note, I'd like to ask you about the issue of mental health in football. Obviously we've seen EFL partnership with the Mind charity. How important do you think that is?
Well, I'm well known for commenting on things EFL does badly.
Yeah.
I'm well known for it, and there's a lot it does badly, but there's a lot it does really great.
Yeah.
It's charitable work. They're setting up a tournaments. EFL is a fantastic organisation. It's lost its way, as has all football, in my view.
Yeah.
But in terms of the good that it does, it's a fabulous organisation. They're good people. The owners that I speak to are good owners. The work they do with Mind Charities is fantastic. The work they do with prostate cancer were fantastic. EFL's a great organisation. I do think we lost his way, and I think we need to look at all regulations so we don't get a Bury thing going on. But credit where credit's due for EFL.
Yeah, just you touch on that in terms of the distribution of wealth. The one thing that I notice is at the top level we're seeing a really strong inflation of wages because the Premier League is becoming more commercialised. Obviously, that's having a knock-on effect on clubs lower down, and I suppose I don't know if the income for clubs in certainly League 1 and 2 and non-league is the increase proportionate with the rise in wages, and I think there's clearly a huge problem there which as a country we need to address.
Well, we need to decide what the value of football is to communities and to people and to supporters. We need to decide whether we want a football going forward or whether we don't want a football going forward. If we carry on like we are, we won't have football going forward. You can't keep funneling all the cash to the top of the Premiership and top 6, top 4 clubs. They'll keep saying to you, well, it's the same percentage as you've always got, and these percentages that are split between divisions were set when there were really no cash before Sky's time. They were set when there weren't a lot of cash in Premier League in any case, and as that same 80-12, 8% split. As the income for football grows, the cash gap between the leagues gets so big, and that's effectively what owners are having to fund. The difference between, if you're trying to go up, you've got to fund the difference between a League 1 club and a Championship club, and a Championship club and a Premiership club, and they're all making a loss in Championship, chasing that drink, funding that gap effectively, and not like that being punished by clubs coming down with big parachutes. So there are real threats. The IFL is a massive threat to football. It's a massive threat, and I'm sick of saying it. As we are now, the Sky TV money, that's brilliant. Each League 1 club gets the same. But on streaming, each League 1 club doesn't. The club that sells the stream gets the income.
So selling your product but not paying you for it?
Yeah, so for example, Gillingham can sell this game and we get nothing for it, even though we're putting it on. It's not right. It's not right. But you got to weigh that in with the fact that we know TV income's going down. We know Sky are going to pay less. There's been forums in London that Sky have attended and they've said they're paying less across Europe. So we know that TV cash is going down in favour of streaming. So we're swapping a product that's split equally between clubs for a product that's split by a crowd, and that's a disaster for smaller clubs. Effectively, you're in any league, you've got 50% that are higher than average crowd and 50% that are below. It disadvantages everybody below the line. So the equality in football, the bit that's kept it right, is disappearing. It really worries me because you take that TV income off this club and it doesn't survive. It's as simple as that. If you take the TV income off the big clubs like Portsmouth, it's probably 10% of their turnover. For us, it's 60% of turnover. So when you start messing with that number, you do us a lot of damage. And I think we're walking blindfolded into this problem. You can't see Man United sharing their streaming with Burnley.
Good luck with that one. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just not going to do it. So as you've got Amazon, I think it is, streaming matches over Christmas, and as that happens, it's potentially life-threatening to a lot of clubs.
Yeah.
A lot of clubs.
I mean, I'd just like to take you up on that, because I think there's absolutely huge question marks over the corporations that make these decisions. But I also think that as people in this country, do we need to take more responsibility ourselves to actually support community clubs and take that responsibility ourselves and put money into clubs, into sort of an Accrington Stanley or clubs that are sort of local to us?
I mean, it's all about scale. When you consider the solidarity we get from Premier League's equal to every penny we take out gate in League One.
Yeah.
So it's that sort of scale. You start, if you had to replace that Premier League cash, we'd have to double our ticket prices.
Yeah.
That's the scale of it. So people are doing their best. Supporters are paying for everything around here, and they're supporting club. But TV is such an important part of the game. If you look at Premier League, it's even worse. If you look at Burnley's turnover, probably 7 or 8% is on the gate. Match day income, 90% is TV. So if that goes down 25%, Burnley are looking at a 25 million reduction in income, and obviously they're not exact numbers. I'm just giving you a flavour of it.
Yeah.
And they can't. They'd have to treble the match day income to they'd have to quadruple it, because they've already got the match day income. They'd have to have another 3 times as much to get that cash back. So Burnley are run really wisely. A lot of clubs in Premier League are losing money hand over fist, even though they've got 100 million.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, it's clearly in terms of League One, there's a lot of challenges for Accrington ahead. But I suppose historically, you're a club that's really defied the odds. It's a club that wouldn't die. I mean, does that give you a certain amount of spirit or confidence that you can sort of defy the odds again in future? Because I suppose that's what you'd have to do to try and sustain yourselves at this level.
Well, I think we can. Look, it's a fabulous club. The people here are. I mean, when I joined, you hear about bad owners and all this carry on. But when I joined, I'm going to give you a sing song in a minute. So when I joined, yeah, they were broke. Yeah, they were going bust. But all the people involved were 100% honest.
Yeah.
So you were dealing with people that were telling you the truth. They were digging in their own pockets to pay wages. They're fabulous folk. I couldn't have picked a better club to get involved in. I get so much satisfaction out of it. Obviously, I'm always arguing because I feel like football generally is going the wrong way. But in terms of the pleasure and the upside I get from Accrington, it's unbelievable.
Oh, fantastic. Well, listen, Andy, thank you so much for this.
Look after yourself.